In my, albeit overly thorough, walkthrough of Sense 6.0, which is the latest version of HTC's Skin UI that they put on top of Android that launched on the HTC One M8, I left one thing out: the camera. Now, there's good reason for this. The camera setup on the HTC One M8 is unlike any other setup we've seen on an Android device before. Instead of one high megapixel camera on the back of the device like we're used to seeing, we got two more modest 4 megapixel cameras. In addition to that, we also got a higher 5 megapixel camera on the front of the device. So you can see why people aren't quite sure what to make of it. It's because of this unique, semi-clever, in fact, setup that I figured it deserved its own video, explaining what the cameras are for, how to use them, and a simple review of the photos and videos that they take. Okay, let's answer the most obvious question here. Why are there two cameras? Well, HTC in a lot of their literature actually calls the second camera a depth sensor. And while it is a camera of sorts, it is very appropriate to call it a depth sensor because you can't really take pictures out of this one camera. Instead, it just collects depth information using magic, I suppose. And this doesn't actually do anything to the initial photo, but it does allow you to use the duo cam features after the photo is taken to quickly add some neat effects. Now, I'm not one for crazy effects, but I have to say the U-focus has my attention. Essentially, it uses that depth sensor to allow you to tap on the screen to change the point of focus and blur the other items in the photo to get a clever depth of field shot you'd normally see on a large aperture lens, like that. So basically, after you take a photo, you simply tap Edit. Keep in mind that if you've zoomed in on the photo, like you took the photo while using the zoom, have a flash on the photo, or you're really close up when taking the pic, you can't use this feature. Just putting it out there. So then you tap Effects, and you'll see U-Focus, which you'll tap there. Now it'll automatically process the image and try to do its best of where you would want it, but you can also tap on the screen to change the focus. Once you're happy, you just tap Save, and there's your new image. And then you have this SLR-ish looking shot, no? The other features the duo cameras add aren't quite my cup of tea. They are a bit gimmicky to me, but let's go through them anyway. So there are, tapping Edit, Effects, there is Foregrounder, which allows you to use that depth of field to add little effects like a sketch, a zoom blur, make everything in the background cartoony, colorize, and again, you can tap anywhere to change the focus and essentially where that is. Then there's Seasons to add leaves, I guess. Dimension Plus, which adds a fun 3D effect, which when shown to a drunk person makes them do a spit take. The downside of this feature, though, besides getting beer spit on you, is that it only works on your phone. So sending it to someone will just send them the original photo. Copy and paste is interesting. It essentially allows you to pick another photo and then tap on a person within that photo, and there has to be a person in the photo, by the way. And then you can make some adjustments. To then put that person in another picture. And voila, Davina and the drink are now buddies. Then we have stickers, which allows you to put, well, sunglasses and hats and other things on people. And we also have Touch Up, which allows you to adjust the skin smoothness of somebody, adjust the size of their eyes, and other strangely narcissistic qualities. And that's pretty much it for the rear camera and its duo setup and the features that enables. For the camera's quality via photo and video samples, click the link beneath this to get to my site, or if you're already on my site, then just scroll down. Now this brings us to the rather large megapixel front-facing camera, the intentions of which are made quite clear by the name they give it in the settings, selfie. Also, it's a wide-angle lens, which means I can get really close to it and it still fits my entire fat head. Or you can also show off your friends behind you or whatever else is in the background that you want in your selfie. Also, since it is a nicer camera or a better camera, video calling is improved. You can do 1080p video calling from the front-facing camera, and also it has other features that you find normally in rear-facing cameras, like the ability to change exposure and all of those things, and even HDR. So, if selfies are really important to you, then HTC has definitely improved on that with this setup. So there you go. So I found that U-focus effect is actually really cool. I kind of like it a lot, but it doesn't always work properly, which you can't really blame it. It's like an after effect thing. But what I have noticed is that when I show the photos using the U-focus effect, at least, to your average person and compare it to a shot from another phone, everyone kind of says the same thing, and that's a much better looking shot. And there's something to that whole depth of field thing. I mean, if you think about it, that's kind of how our eyes work. When you focus on an object, you slightly blur out everything else around it. So because it resembles the way our eyes look, I think we're just naturally drawn to it, and a lot of people don't really know why. But there you go. That's kind of my experience with it. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that this is a useful feature? Does it make shots look better? And is it comparable to some of the other really nice shooters out there, like the Nokia devices and the 5S and all of those? Let me know by reaching out to me on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, or in the comments here on YouTube or on the website.